Good afternoon to you. My name is Uzair, and it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK on 5th of August 2022, and it's time for a bit of Google Ads. Every weekday on a Tuesday and Friday at 3 p.m., I go live. I go through workflows, answer questions, have a discussion on anything and everything about Google Ads, YouTube ads, and in general, anything on digital marketing to help you with your lead generation and e commerce business. So, if you're watching this live and you want to ask me any questions, then please put them in the comment box or around the video wherever you're watching. This is being live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, where else? Twitter, and LinkedIn. So, all these four channels, and I'll see them towards the end of the session. A lot of questions have already been sent to me, so we can get started. You should be able to see my screen on the right hand side where it says Google Ads Q&A. And so please send your questions. I'll come to those towards the end of the session. I'm just going to make sure everything is working fine, which it looks like it is. All right. So if you got any questions, put them in the YouTube channel or in our Facebook group as well. The Facebook group link is on your screen. It's free to join. We've got over, I think, 1,100 members. It's a nice little community which we are building for like-minded professionals. And if you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed to our channel, then please do so. It helps us with our YouTube algorithms. And lastly, if you want me to audit your account or Google Ads account completely for free, then get in touch with me. We'll schedule a time and I'll go through with you some tips on how to improve the performance of your campaigns, how to be more profitable, and reduce the wastage. I'm pleased to be at a couple of events. These are online. One is with Digital Marketer. It's a live AMA session, and the other one is Gurus Gather Live, along with 15 or 16 other experts on any topic you can think of. They will be there, and we'll be there to answer any questions you may have. Okay, so let's get started with the first question. I'll try and increase the size. All right. So the first question is, which custom columns do you keep in your Google Ads account for performance analysis? Every account is different. And every client is different, and we will have different metrics to track and measure. So there isn't a standard column set. I can give it to you and say, here you are, you should put them in, because yours will be completely different to ours or mine. But what the custom columns is, you can create any custom column you want. So over here, you can see on my screen, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 custom columns, which we are now tracking on our um, in our Google Ads account. So the first one is, I'll just type it in so everybody can see this. And I'm gonna switch off this messenger thing so it doesn't disturb us. All right. So the first one, that's so what we tend to do is we make it a step. What's the step in the funnel? Whether it is add to cart. Well, let's start with e-commerce, right? Step one, um, add to cart. Two could be start checkout. Step 3 could be billing, and step 4 could be order confirmation. All right. So this is a 4-step conversion funnel. What we want to track is how many people and added to cart, or how many visitors first we landed on our website. Let's say we got 150 of these add to cart. I'm just giving a number out. Then out of those, 20 of them went to start the checkout, 10 of them entered the billing, and then 5 converted. So you can see from step 1 to step 2 that, okay, if we're keeping all the conversion ratios the same, or keeping everything the same, we've got a 50 over there, 5 over here, 10% conversion rate from the by the time we add to cart. So if I were to make that increase the traffic, and let's say this is profitable for us, if I increase the traffic to the website and we increase the add to carts, we'll end up having more conversions. So this is why custom columns are really important to track and measure. But these ones won't be the primary conversions. These would be the secondary conversions, right? Because we want to optimize for this, but we also want to keep an eye on these other three to see what's happening. I mean, so I'm digressing from the main uh, question, which is which custom columns do we keep? It could be anything. So for e-commerce, it'll be different sets of custom columns compared to a lead generation where we have landing page view, opt-in, calendar page, and a booked call because we are getting somebody booked in our calendar. So they'll all be completely different. Okay, so next one is which is a better option? Lead forms on Google Ads versus taking contact details on our landing page. Um, you've got to test it yourself. I cannot again tell you which one is better because it may work for me, it may not work for you, it may work for you, it may not work for me. So run both, and whichever one is working better, you need to run with those. Just don't take anybody's word for it. If I say, oh, this is really good, you go ahead and run it and don't do anything else, then you won't be running your campaigns the right way. Yes, you take my opinion, you take my expertise, advice, and so on. And if you feel that, yes, this is going to save me money, make me money, reduce my wastage, increase my conversion rate, and so on, implement it, test it. But you cannot just ask anyone, including myself, oh, which is better, because it may work, it may not work for you because our workflows might be different, our goals could be different, our metrics might be different because most agencies, freelancers, what they do is they are trying to make a profit on that first transaction. Whereas we as an agency, we want the long term profitability to grow the account. Now, if I know and I worked it out with my client, the customer lifetime value, and by customer lifetime value, we're not talking about until the customer passes away or dies, about 6 to 10 months, 12 months. How many more transactions are they likely to get once they acquire a new client? And if they know that data, or we can forecast and predict and say, okay, this is what we should be getting, then our acquisition cost or our acquisition rate or the price can be very aggressive. So if my competitors are trying to acquire a client at, let's say, $10, I can bid at 20, 25, $30 and outbid them, outrank them at every opportunity to get my ads in front of those people to get that conversion. and that's what you want to be thinking about. So you got to keep trying, and you got to keep testing different things. Is there any source of getting universally accepted campaign naming convention? There is no such thing, because it doesn't matter what your naming convention is compared to mine, because your workflow will be different to mine, and mine will be different to yours. But for those who don't know how to do this, you need to have a naming convention for your campaigns, so that it's much easier to see what's happening and what's not happening. So let's make one. I'm running a, let's say, a video campaign, right? So I can, and let's say it's a particular product or a service which I'm offering. So I'll keep it that product name first, okay? Whatever it is, or service. Okay. Then the targeting. So if I'm targeting, let's say, in market audience for Google Ads, so I will call it in market Google Ads. And you just put in a pipeline. Bring this up a bit. Then put in the country where you are targeting. We tend to make a separate campaign for every country, but yours might be different. So you might say US, UK, Australia, or whatever, right? So you put them in if you're targeting multiple countries. Then what we also do is put in our target CPA or ROAS. So we want to get a lead $20 or something like that. So that is what we call a naming convention. Just by looking at this campaign, we can see, okay, who we are targeting and where it is, or you can add anything else, which is how you set it up. So the way we set these up is we have one campaign. I can tell that. One ad group, one targeting, be it keyword, in market, custom segment, affinity. So it's 111 and 3 to 5 ads. When you start working along these lines, you can really um, simplify your workflow, and then you will be able to just name it accordingly. And that's how um, we would set up our naming convention. Is it preferable to use RDA for remarketing only? So RDA means responsive display ads. No, not at all. I mean, you can use any kind of ads. You can have video ads for remarketing as well, but this is what we would use for using for any kind of remarketing or going after the cold audience. In fact, one thing I forgot over here. So let's say you're going after the cold audience. So you can put in cold or warm or hot or whatever. Excuse me. So you can have any naming convention, and then just stick to that convention and just name your campaigns. Okay, RT is done. Okay, so this is a bit of a long question. Okay, I had a search campaign running with generic broad match keywords. Okay, after 3 months of optimization and identifying the winner keywords, okay, I made several theme based ad groups and added the top performer keywords as exact match in their respective ad groups. Good. But somehow I'm not getting impressions at all on the same keywords, which were top performance in the original campaign. Am I doing something wrong? Is there a better way to run the campaign? All right, your advice will be appreciated. Yeah, it's a very simple problem you got. I think you're not bidding enough, because broad keywords will be the cheapest clicks, exact keywords would be the most expensive click. So all you do is just keep on bidding up, whether you're running on manual campaigns or target ROAS or target CPA. You got to be aggressive and then keep running it, and then put those exact keywords as negatives in this new ad group. Let me rephrase this. I've said it the other way around. So we need to um, sculpt the traffic. So if somebody's searching for exact keywords, we want it to be triggered from the exact campaign and not from that broad one, the first one. So what you do is take the exact match keywords and put them as negatives in the broad campaign. That way, if it's an exact, it will bypass that campaign and go straight into exact, and that will trigger and not the broad match. This used to work really well, and we used to do this all the time, where we are going to block keywords at campaign level, ad group level. But now with the algorithm and the machine learning getting better and better, just keep them in one ad group if you want to have broad as well as the exact keywords in there, and see what happens. The other thing which you don't want to do is, if this campaign is performing really well and is profitable, don't touch it. Just keep scaling it, because this is what most people do, is they will try to keep making changes and keep trying to fix things, and they break the campaign. Yes, you do look after it. Keep an eye on the search terms and what your ads are being triggered from. But if it's working well, you don't need to overcomplicate things. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. One of my clients' account was suspended due to circumventing policies. We applied for an account review and got this message from the Google Ads team. Okay, now can we create another account and promote the same URL? No. My advice would be to get to the bottom of it. Sometimes it does take a bit of a toing and froing, and takes a few weeks to sort this out. But if you feel that you have not done anything wrong and not gone against any of Google's policies, then you should appeal and do and send them, get them to look at it again. What will happen if you were to create a new account, and this is what most people do? Your account is going to get suspended again, because Google knows your IP address, your billing, and lots of other data points, and they know that you are exactly the same person who got suspended from the other account. Now you're trying to open up a new one. So I wouldn't bother doing it, because you will get suspended very quickly. Okay. Uh, AdWords is the worst product I have ever tried to work with. Even if I follow a tutorial, there are 100 things that are wrong. Wow. Okay. Even a simple notification from Google can have your entire campaign deleted. Everything with AdWords is so sloppy and ends up in days and weeks of wasted time. Well, Corey, you are absolutely entitled to your opinion, but I would strongly disagree with it, because what you've written, I totally don't agree with it. So the first one is the worst product I've ever tried. Um, okay, so what are you comparing against, with Bing or LinkedIn ads? I'm not sure. Even if I follow a tutorial, there are 100 things wrong. Can you be a bit more specific? Because I've not had any experience of so many things which are wrong. And Google will never ever delete anything from your account, to be honest with you, unless and until you've given them in writing, which they have, a form that you have given them permissions to make changes to your account, then yes, they will, but they will never go in and anything gets changed or deleted. And AdWords is so sloppy. Are you sure you don't? I have a feeling you work for Bing or LinkedIn or something like that. But there you go. So yeah, I mean, you know, you have your own opinions about Google Ads. Google Ads is the world's biggest advertising platform. You cannot get away from it because every business owner needs it, and you just cannot live without it if you want to put your business products or services in front of others. But hey, thank you for your for your comment. Okay, Mohammed. As a freelancer, I access my client's account with Google Ads Manager. Okay, whose account will be suspended if it happens? So if you are running on Google's on your client account, what you want to do is you need to create a MCC account. This is called My Client Center. So if you Google My Client Center, Google Ads, you will get a link, you create an account. Then what you want to do is, and this is the right way to get access. Don't get your client to add you. That's the wrong way. What you will have is like this. So you will have your MCC account like this at the top level. This is a very good question because a lot of people get confused with this. All right. Then under there, you'll have client one, client two, or as many clients as you have, right? Client three, and so on. Okay. So what you want to do is here's the workflow. Um, get the 10-digit ID from the client of their Google Ads account, right? So you get the 10-digit ID. Then from your account, you click that plus under the account, you add that plus, and then link. I think it's called link existing account, if I remember rightly. And enter the 10-digit ID, and then you send it. So the client will get an email from Google Ads saying that you are requesting access to their account. They will click on that email, accept request or something like that. It will then take them to their Google Ads account and under tools and settings, and then you go into the security and access. Then you go into the manager tab. It will take them straight away over there, and it will show you your name or your email address as well. And they need to accept or reject. Once they accept and you refresh your screen, you will see their account under your MCC. So what this does is you don't need to log in different Google accounts to access various clients. You just have your Google account or Google Ads account, MCC account, and then you have all your sub accounts in there. So that is the correct way to have multiple accounts under your one login. You should never ask your client for their Google Ads login credentials, because if something goes wrong, you get hacked or you lose the password or something, and the client somehow gets hacked, you will get the blame. Oh, I gave you the account details and now I've lost my Google account or I've got hacked. Even if the client is trying to give us we specifically said never, ever, ever do not give us any of your login details. We do not need to know this. Same with analytics, tag manager, merchant center. That's a different way they will add your email in those accounts, but we will never ask them for any of the logins. So you should never do that. Is there an app or method through which we can check the trademark registered keywords before writing the ads? Yeah, it's very simple, Umar. Just go to Google and search for that brand term. So if it's, let's say, Samsung, they will most probably be running the ads. Let's try it. So if we do Samsung Galaxy or something like that, right? S22. So I've got the ad over here, but then you will see that this is another company called ee.co.uk. They have authorized them. They have been authorized by Samsung to use their trademark in the ads, and and so on. So if you don't see it, then obviously you can't. But if you see others are using it, but you might need to get the permission from that company for you to be able to use the trademarks. But majority of the times, for example, in Apple's case, they are very strict about who they will give permission to. I don't know of anybody who can use Apple's trademarks in their ads. So yeah, just Google it and see what's happening. And if it does get disapproved, then you know it'll take a few hours. By the time they approve it or disapprove it, you will not get suspended for using trademarked terms in your ads. You'll only get disapproved. So then just change it. Sometimes we use a little hack like a put a dash between the space or a full stop or something like that, or don't have any spacing between two words if it's a two word trademark. So there are ways around it. You can get these things approved. I'm running Google search ad for e-commerce client in India. Okay, CTR for keywords are CTR means click-through rate for keywords are average, above average. Okay, but landing page experience is below average. I have optimized landing page too. So you need to go somewhere like the Google page speed test, Pingdom, and there's one more. Uh, I can't remember. There are tools which will check the website page speed. If your website page speed is slow, then you will get a below average experience. And this is what Google rewards you for. You need to have a really fast page speed because Google is referring traffic from their platform to yours. They don't want somebody to be waiting for a few seconds for the website to load up. It just needs to be instant and lightning fast. So have a look, and especially on the mobile, you need to make sure that your mobile, especially on the Google page speed test, is above 80 or 90. Okay. My client has two websites, and what's your recommendations? One Google Ads account with one website, or one Google Ads account with two websites? Or should I create separate conversion action on his current Google Ads account? He wants me to run his both websites ads on the same Google Ads account, and both have different niches. What's your recommendation? Okay, so my recommendation is when clients like these start to dictate what they want, then I would politely say to them that we cannot work for you or with you, and you will need to hire somebody else. Do you ever go to a restaurant and tell the chef what to put in your food? How much each spice needs to be? Does he need to put sugar or salt or spices or whatever? No, we don't. We just leave it to them because that's why we are paying them. And that's why we're going there because their food is good. Same over here. Lots of clients will start demanding and dictating. And if it doesn't align with your workflows, your goals, and what you're trying to achieve, then absolutely 100% say no to them. With regards to this question, it's a very simple answer. Never ever run two or more websites from the same Google Ads account, because you will have different negative keywords, you will have different conversion sets, of course, you will have different either cost per acquisition or target ROAS, and you will be pulling your hair out as to where how to set up these negative keywords either at account level or campaign level or ad group level. Keep things simple, have different accounts per website. As simple as that. Never ever go with one account and multiple websites. You'll be pulling your hair out. Trust me. Okay. I think I've just earlier on answered this, Vijay. Is there any source of universally accepted naming convention? RET for retargeting, RSA for responsive search as RDA. Yeah. Um, you don't need to have, as I said earlier on, universally accepted. It's just your workflow, and whatever makes sense for you, you set up the naming convention. So literally, there isn't any. But yeah, we use RSA, we use RDA, and remarketing RET or RMKT. Google uses. So yeah, it's whatever you put in or write, just stick to that and keep it consistent. So DSAs are the dynamic search ads. I've just set up some dynamic search ads yesterday, but status is learning. How long do you usually take to get going, please? It takes a few days. Google is not like Facebook where it will instantly and start running your ads. The way I describe Google versus Facebook, Facebook is like a cheetah. It starts off from 0 to 60 in like 5 seconds or something like that. But after 100, 200 meters, it starts to slow down because it cannot sustain that um, speed. Whereas Google is kind of like an elephant. You start slow, but when it gathers pace, it destroys everything in its way. And what I mean by that is the scalability, it just doesn't stop. It keeps growing and growing and growing, and you give 500 a day, 1,000 a day, 2,000 a day, 5,000 a day to campaigns. Google will happily take your money all day long, whereas scaling with Facebook is going to be an issue. So coming back to your question, be patient. Usually the learning phase goes on for about 5 days. It's also dependent on the budget. If you got $10 a day budget, it's going to take longer compared to $50 a day budget, because you're going to start to see more data into the account, and the algorithm is going to learn a lot faster. So that's what I would say. Let it run, don't touch it. And the more you touch it, the more it's going to go back into learning phase because it has to start again. Okay. What is ROAS for the shopping campaign with below data, please? Calculate and confirm. Is it 350 or I'm doing something wrong? Now, those of you watching online, you might find this difficult to read. So, what I'm going to say to you is CTR, okay, conversion rate, average order value, average CPC, bounce rate, search impression share, and CPM. So, ROAS, what's the meaning of ROAS? Return on ad spend. How much return are you getting on your ad spend, right? So, the formula for this is conversion value divided by cost. So, if you had $100 worth of conversion value and you spend $10 as ad spend, you have 10x your ROAS, right? 10 times your return. So from the screenshot which you've uploaded, you don't have both these metrics. You don't have the conversion average order value we have, but we don't know how many orders have you got, right? You don't have that. So you don't have the conversion value, neither you have the cost. So I can't work it out. So if you can go into your Google Ads account, take the conversion value, divide it by the ad spend, you'll get your ROAS. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go on to and see if there are any more questions which have been sent during this live stream. So if you haven't done so yet, please start putting them in because there is a bit of a delay on the transmission. So if you wait till the very last second, I probably will not see your question. Okay. Bring up the chat. Please increase the volume. The volume is the same for everybody, so I'm not sure where you are watching or listening. Can you speak in Hindi or Gujarati? I can speak in Hindi and Urdu. Yeah, that's fine, but not in. If you were referring to me speaking in Hindi right now, well, this one is in English. I do have some videos where I do speak in Hindi or Urdu. Oops, sorry, I missed the other one. Can I run maximized clicks and target CPA to two similar campaigns at the same time? Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. You can have as many campaigns as you like with different bidding strategies to see where's the sweet spot and where you are getting the best bang for your buck. So you have one campaign at max clicks, another one at target CPA. Now, even at target CPA or target ROAS, let's say we stick to TCPA. You have one campaign running at $10, another one for 15, another one at 20, 25, and so on. You can have as many as you want, and you see which one is running at the most profitable ratio. So that's what you want to do. So absolutely, because only one campaign is going to win the auction and go into that main auction, right? Not all of them at the same time. So that's what you will get, and you'll get more insight as to how the algorithm works, what should be the target CPA, how much you need to bid, and what's the average CPCs. Obviously, you don't set up the CPCs, but you will see what the average cost is in the campaign. Okay, hello. One of my clients' account was suspended due to circumventing policies. Can we create a new account? Okay, I think I just answered that earlier on. So the answer to that is no, you can't, because you will get well, you can, but you'll get suspended again. So you try to get to the bottom of that problem and see what the issues are. I know it is very frustrating and it causes a bit of delays, but there's nothing you can do about it. At least with Google Ads, they reply. With Facebook, you don't get anywhere. With Google, if you appeal, it goes into the system and they have to reply back to you. That it will be a manual review or whatever. So sometimes these bots come onto the account and they see something which is not right, and straight away it goes into suspension. But then you request a manual review, get somebody to look at it. Quite often you will find that this has happened to us about a few years ago. Somebody had hacked our website and put up something malicious, some software on it and scripts, and our ads kept getting disapproved. And it took us, I think, 6 weeks to figure it out on our website as to what's happening, because we didn't know what was wrong. And then they pointed out that, look, this is the problem. You need to have a look at your website, and they gave us that script of what was causing that issue. So work with them, and they will help you. You're most welcome, and thank you for sending these lovely questions as well. I thoroughly enjoy answering these, and I hope it helps you and everyone else as well. So I don't see any more questions, so we shall wrap things up for this Friday afternoon. Have a great weekend, and I shall see you back again on Tuesday at 3 p.m. in the UK. So till then, stay safe and have a great weekend. Bye for now.